Joining us now to review some of today's newspapers from around the world is a Rise News analyst, Emmanuel Malabite Feni. Great Malabite.
Good morning, Rufus.
Greatest Baba.
Good morning. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning.
Good morning, Sefe.
Kayode Akintemi.
Good to see
yes,
you
one
today
of those
again.
putting pressure on our naira. You were confessing over the weekend on Money Show how you look for pounds here and
Yes,
there.
we have to look after our children wherever they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. We'll start with the lead story. Obasanjo, Nigeria can overcome Forex crisis by exploring non-oil export. Orama says after has capacity to unlock $3 trillion GDP for Africa. Yes, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, profiling what a solution which you call Economics 101, if you will, that Nigeria could overcome its Forex crisis and dwindling value of the naira by shifting from a mono economy marked by dependence on oil and non-oil exports, particularly agri-biz, if we can shift to agri-biz. Of course, Professor Patutomi has expatiated a lot on that, how we can create value using agricultural products where we have a comparative advantage. But are we doing that? No. What is the government doing? You talk about agric, but the real effort is not there. Of course, President Obasanjo himself, former military president, former military head of state, and former president for 8 years. A great farmer in retirement. But how has that translated into a national adventure when he became president? The prescription is given now. Perhaps a president who sat on the saddle for 8 years is in a position to change the narrative, if you will. But that is the story of Nigeria, and we see our currency being weakening every day. Dependence on oil, even the oil theft is a big problem. So we're not getting as much as we should be getting from even the oil. We cannot even meet our OPEC quota. And of course, at that event in Abeokuta, where the week-long event to ensure the intensive agri-export readiness, accelerator of training for entrepreneurs drawn from across the country. Of course, Benjamin Orama, the president of the Afrexim Bank, exposing, said this is meant to expose participants, yes, to the requisite entrepreneurial knowledge to trade across borders, particularly with opportunities that are available in the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, which he said has a capacity to unlock a market of 1.3 billion people, and of course ensure a $3 billion economy, a GDP for the African economy. Nigeria has to prepare, because in Africa we cannot afford to take the back seat, so that Nigeria don't become a dumping ground. Nigerians should be able to put products together that should be traded across borders, not just within Africa, but even beyond Africa. Now, if there is one thing Professor Patutomi cannot accuse Nigerian newspapers of not having enough passion in discussing the Naira problem, because in the last 1 month, there's hardly any day you don't have the Forex crisis as part of the lead story of a number of newspapers. Now, the BusinessDay newspaper, the lead story, FX crisis, time is running out for Tinubu, faster for Nigeria. Economists say it's time to call IMF. crude east, dent sale of oil assets. Of course, the Forex crisis, some experts are saying we should call in the IMF. But I don't know whether Professor Patutomi will agree with that. He did not discuss the role of the Bretton Woods institutions in ameliorating our problems, because our government looking to the IMF and other institutions to also get help when it comes to the economy. The Guardian newspaper, at 1,200 naira to the dollar, 985 naira per liter, fuel spike squeezes air travel pricing. Of course, according to the Guardian newspaper, the local airlines are being squeezed with the devaluation of the naira, and of course the increase in the fuel price. That's Jet A1 aviation fuel. Domestic carriers, 100,000 naira per one-day trip may increase to 130 naira. We're talking about 1 hour flight. Confusion in downstream as IATA rate of exchange surges by 139 naira in 24 hours. Foreign airlines bemoan $793 trapped funds and $300 million legacy debt, illiquidity on I&E window. Aviation will not survive without clear line of FX support for operators. IATA wants, of course, the aviation sector feeling the brunt of the devaluation of the naira. In fact, the absence, the unavailability of FX, the foreign exchange, for many of these airlines to repatriate their funds from Nigeria, as well as the local airlines, even to bring in spares and service their planes, is all a problem in the aviation sector. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, yes, Nigerian newspaper, passionate, like some people over Chelsea, on the FX, Nigerian Tribune newspaper, exchange rate, industries battle for survival as Nigerians suffer losses. Manufacturers pay up to 30 different taxes, levies annually. Manufacturers Association lamenting. Petrol pump price hits 630 naira per liter in Abuja. More filling stations shut down, all as a result of the FX problem. Now, the Punch newspaper, federal government plans 26 trillion naira borrowing, 29 trillion naira for debt servicing to exceed capital budget spending by 7.69 trillion naira amid slow economy. High debt servicing costs creating potential fiscal risk, government lament. Yes, a lot to do for the Tinubu administration. As the BusinessDay newspaper puts it, time is running out. Now, the Nation newspaper, yes, the Nation newspaper, Edu, Tinubu's homegrown plan, good to revive the economy. Some assurances there from the finance minister and the coordinating minister for the economy. There is no likelihood of Nigerians seeking international assistance on debt restructuring. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, presidential election appeal, inviting amicus curiae, not advisable. Professor Ishesagi says issues for determination must be front-loaded. We are optimistic of victory at Supreme Court. PDP, yes, change of name. I violated no law, signing affidavit on Saturday. Atiku Abubakar, of course, the issue of change of name, and of course asking the other party to also come forward and state their own position on the issue of change of name. Daily Independent newspaper, competition slows among banks as tech flattens service. Fintechs, big gainers. Blueprint newspaper, Israel envoys visit to Wike Northern elders disown Gumi, says views not asked. Pandef, MBF, caution cleric not to undermine nations' diversities. I don't determine relations between countries. Wike, and that story is also on the front page of the Abuja Inquirer. Wike under fire over Israel-Hamas war. I do not determine foreign relations minister. Now, of course, the issue of the visit of the Israeli ambassador to the minister of the Federal Capital Territory and the reaction of Sheikh Gumi, which has been causing some ripples. Wike said, well, he's not the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He doesn't determine the foreign affairs, the foreign relations direction of the federal government. Yes, Rufai, Ayo, and Kayode Akintemi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Feni. Thank you so much for all the story.